in this series, I would imagine, and to me, the way the world is on Invictus is just come in and smash them.
Yeah, I think as well, like you might see levels of disrespect. Maybe that'll be one way they can actually get into this game. The problem is, I think the level of the opponent they've struggled against so far is like some decent individual players, and then like you look at it and go, okay, but they didn't have any strategy. Whereas Invictus do have that basis to fall back on. They've got a good mix as well. It's not just necessarily one player that's just carrying them through. I think everybody can hold their own weight. And players like Zhao Sage actually seem to have quite an intelligent way of approaching the game. So I think that, again, like if Invictus do struggle in this series, then I don't think we can even put them as a contender within this tournament, because obviously they've still got some pretty tough opponents to face against. They choked quite heavily facing off against Vici, although they have beaten Beyond already. Actually, out of all the teams, they've played against some of the tougher ones, I suppose. You've still got, obviously, the likes of Tai Lu, and we still don't know what to expect from Tiger in the majority of these matches. So it's not going to get easier from here. But, okay, you beat Beyond, you lost to Vici. But those results are fine. Realistically, they probably should have taken a map of Vici, but whatever. If they lose to ZIGMA, we're looking at this in a completely different way. This isn't like, oh, this is a slight upset. This would be probably the biggest upset we've seen of the tournament so far. And I'm just setting that up because I don't believe that's going to happen. It's just the premise of this should be a quick 2-0. They've got their two most played maps. Granted, they've played 17 maps of both Mirage and Nuke. But, well, they actually have a worse win rate on Nuke. And then a lot of the other maps that we sort of look at, like, for example, a Train, they've got a really high win rate, but only played it 6 times. So, if anything, this is their map pool. Vertigo is also one that ZIGMA have a 0% win rate on. So, that should be another pretty easy game for them. So, realistically, it should be a 2-0. If it's not, Invictus have made some mistakes.
I'd be inclined to agree with you there, Tom. I'm glad we got that whole pre-game out of the way. That took a while for the boys to start it up, but now we're ready to go. Ready to swing on in.
Talk, to be honest. Wow. There's such a big ego nowadays.
I know. It's ridiculous.
It's almost as long as his hair.
Whoa, what is...
I don't know. That's for you to find out.
I'm looking forward to finding out. Let's be careful what we say, though. We don't want to get Dinko too excited, though. We know how that can end.
Some would call it happy. Either way, it is going to be the T's building up in towards this B site. Only 2 to defend. Look at the push from Reality Jesus, though. This is a name I'm looking forward to casting. One of many. The other is on your screen. Having the name PP and Destroyer in the same server that's a dangerous game. But yeah, they managed to basically get themselves into an afterplant position. There is a flash. Now, I like to see the smoke and kit combo, especially in pistol rounds. I think it either gives you the ability to gain a lot of space or to just try and sneak defuse the bomb. This retake, though, is actually going fantastically well. 3 kills already. It's left on to Bottle, who's stuck in the corner, but he's managed to get 3 kills. They'll finally put him down, and luckily the kit is available. Now, I can almost guarantee this man's buying straight back in with an AK. When you have 37.50 going into things, the game is almost just tempting you. They would have to go for SMGs on the other players if they were to take that risk, but personally, I'd like to see them force.
Seeing them force the issue and get up early would be nice for sure, especially when you're the team that comes in as the favorites. I think I don't like that buy from the CT side. There are a lot of SMGs in play, and for Invictus, this is somewhere that a force buy could have really helped them out massively to bridge that. Doesn't look like they've gone for it though, Town, does it? There's nothing there for them.
Disappointed.
Yeah. They're making the scared plays. I mean, technically, it's the smart ones, right? They've managed to get a bomb plant in. Sometimes you'll get a force buy, and honestly, I'm a fan of the force buy in this round because you literally have the exact same buy as your opponents.
Well, I like it on this map in particular because the economy is so important for the CT side. Like getting all the extra utility is just going to be clinical in this match. So unless they do some real damage here, you're basically giving the CTs a better chance. Whereas in this round, sure, they invested more into utility, but they have some weaponry or vulnerability. So I think that there's an argument for both. Like this is the safer route, but I prefer the riskier play. Now they're going to start putting the pressure on the B side. There is only one defender, but the Molotov will buy time for a second to rotate in. They're going to go for the boost. I pray to God the teams are going to check the boost in this game. I cannot cope with another match that he's checked. Oh, I love Zhao Sage. Honestly, it's only one kill, but do you know what he does? He goes, you know what? There's probably someone on the boost, Mitch. There's probably someone there. I will pre-fire it as I walk in. It's amazing how like very minor details, things that you could almost call basics, make me very happy nowadays.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what you get after watching enough of Bren and Checkmate and after playing as if they have no brain. So this is a nice little change to what we're used to. No moronic Counter-Strike here. And just in case you think that's too harsh, these blokes literally went B, what, 3 times in a row and didn't check boost any of those 3 times and got killed from boost all 3 times. So, yeah, Nifty's just killed himself. Sigma are down a man in a very important round, right? They invested a lot into this one, the reinvestment into utility. And never mind, I take back what I said previously. Moronic Counter-Strike is back because Just Cause has walked out through balcony, not even expecting a player to be near the site, despite the fact that they just lost the duel on mid about half an hour ago. All right. So we're in for one of these games, then, I guess.
They managed to take the A site, taking 3 damage, and using not many nades. Like, look, they've still got 4 smokes, a Molotov, 4 flashbangs, and an HE. How? Genuinely how? Like, I don't understand. Like, that's way too easy. Like, I thought Invictus were gonna win, but I thought at least we might see double digits for ZIGMA. But if it's gonna be that easy for a team to take the A site, which is normally one where you have to use a hell of a lot of utility, I want to see Molotovs in the pit. I want to see smokes falling down to cover the arch. So, what? I'm sure Mitch, there's no one here at this point, right?
Woosah. We go back to the, you know, in fairness, this region has helped me out with my asthma a lot because I've had to get much better at controlling my breathing watching things like this. Just deep breaths. It's all okay. It's been a wild round. I love how we just got the replay as well of Niffy running through his own molly to kill himself in a full buy round where they'd be forced to an eco afterwards. Yeah, you know.
You sacrifice some of your health to the god of fire.
And he does nothing for you.
You're a man who believes in spirits, I'm sure. I'm sure you believe in the god of fire. Either way, just a few pistols in this round. Obviously, you got Mr. PP over on the other side. I'm sure he appreciates that name. Just going to be sat there with the rifle. It's weird to me that... Okay, so this is a round where you're going to take risks, right? That's a nice shot. They don't actually rotate a player. They've actually pushed down further. Niffy's got an awful lot of information, but they've lost arch control because of it. Now, either this flank at least nets a kill, which it might. Bottle is probably unaware, but the timing is a bit rough. Like a roller coaster. Unfortunately, the emotion's only disappointment as he doesn't actually get anything done. Bottle's actually still alive. Now, I would like to see PP Overdose save this, but he's decided he'd rather die. So, well, he's going to be left with the bare bones rifle until the next round. I mentioned probably about 2 minutes ago, maybe 3, how important utility is on this map. So unless he's going to avoid going for a rifle, which, okay, he goes for a FAMAS. and that's respectable. But he could have just had the rifle and everything else. I don't think there was any way he was ever going to win that round. Maybe trying to make things a bit more costly for the T's, but realistically, they won the last round with 0 people dying, so their money was never going to be hurt.
I think for ZIGMA, you got to be in a bit of a high pressure environment, right? They threw away an opportunity the previous round. They should have a good start into this half already, and if they lose this round, well, it will not be a good start, put it simply. Exciting to see them come through with a bit of a turnaround from what we just saw. Aspiring, there's a lot of weight on it. Now, obviously, it's looking better than the others already. They haven't lost a pick on top Banana. They haven't killed themselves on Banana with a Molotov. And, you know, that's pretty much where I draw the line and say, that's better. We're improving here, boys. Well done. Yeah, ZIGMA looked like a good team the first time that we saw them, and since then, they didn't. But that's a good start. And there's a tutorial on why not to spray through smokes like that for 30 bullets. So PP, he's going through the smoke. I like this. I like the play. He gets, oh my God, turn around. Shosage had no idea that he was there. He was just hugging him back to back, taking down the kills. And with that, Invictus are behind by miles.
Yeah, they're both so low. There shouldn't really be any chance here for Flying to win this one out. And at least get the bomb down, earn himself a little bit of extra cash, but realistically, they'll get the trade instantly. So, great work. A huge risk, obviously, by Mr. Overdose. As he basically ran through without any utility. Just tried to take a peek and managed to win it out just off the surprise factor. It's one of those hero plays that I think is going to work 1 in 10 times, and luckily for him, it was the one, because if he goes down, that's round over already. Instead, they get the victory, but the T's are not going to have any trouble buying back up into this one. They've got plenty of cash. Viva was starting this round with 10,000. Well, there was actually a flash. It was just a really low thrown flash. So it didn't actually catch anyone, I don't think.
That's a round that they do not deserve. Like, just fundamentally, that was unreal by PP to go through the smoke the way he did and take a 3K, some Jam Young-esque plays. But it's all about consistency, and from what we've seen, ZIGMA don't have it in them to pull those out round after round, so we've got to see them then come in with a much better start, and that certainly is a better start. Nifty right down Banana. We've seen this man kill himself. We've seen him get shot through the smoke after spamming 30 bullets, and now finally, he's managed to find an opening duel on Banana and fall back into a position where they can play off of.
Well, Viva having a bit of a rough start to this round and the match. Smokes can be thrown out. They're going to go for the boost. They are. So Just Cause can be peeking over the top. Spam through doesn't net him anything. Still can't really see at all. These have actually created a bit of a rotation into a more passive hold for ZIGMA. Obviously, they do still have 2 players on this B site, so it's not really the end of the world. Both actually playing very far back, and I imagine, yeah, it's the boost in play. This position's normally good for 1, so I think I'm going to be more reliant on PP. Overdose! Oh, they actually checked the close angle first, and they're not ready for that second player. PP again looking to hold the line, and he's doing a fantastic job. It's left all onto Zalsage, and although he will go... what? Excuse me?
I have no idea.
That's unreasonable. Reality Jesus is probably blaming his father for that one, because there was the luck of the gods on his opponent's side.
Yeah, I think he's going to be questioning reality after that one, because it was unbelievable. Nice little spray by Shosage, picking up players through smokes. But it's not enough.
He was probably a little bit cross. Ah!
Jesus.
Yes.
That's blasphemy, Tom. You can't say yes to that.
Well, you shouldn't be using the Lord's name in vain.
Oh, we smack him back with that.
Yeah, I got an A and RE at GCSE.
I'm Irish. I feel like we've I beat you on this immediately.
You're forced into religion.
Exactly. We are. It's beaten into us. But look, on a 4-2 scoreline, ZIGMA are ahead. They're looking like they're winning, but I don't really feel like they are going to. I'm still in there with Invictus. I need to see a lot more from the ZIGMA lineup before I swap sides and start to actually feel like some of the plays are coming through are repeatable and planned. I've had a couple of nice positions like the early boost and banana, but it is these nifty little tricks from Niffy. You can't pull them out every single round. I need to see
also the big PP plays that have
absolutely
been coming out. He's been able to hold it down, and that's been enough for them so far. It's going to be him as the solo player on this B site. Destroyer trying to sell a bit of a fake. Do a bit of damage, but in the meantime, his teammates have actually gone forward. Destroyer gets a kill as well, so that will hold the remaining players over. But again, we're going to see this fast rotation. Just Cause putting him from behind. Flying is waiting for him, but he still can't win the duel. And there's a second player there. Not going to go down for Just Cause, so he will be able to survive. PP Overdose trying to spam in some utility. He's going to run through this smoke again. Second one, Flash is great, but this time Viva's good for the trade. It's left into a 2 versus 2. Reality Jesus hoping to try and find something through the smoke, but nothing is going to come through. And Just Cause has actually gone on a long rotation away from Banana, all the way back round for CT to try and group up with his teammate.
Be a long one for Reality. I'm going to eventually start making his move in. Bogdan's Law comes in. Just Cause is going to be the one that's getting that op. And oh my god, what a swift conclusion to this one for ZIGMA. Great retake. Great allocation of their weapons. And they both hit their shots straight away. It's exactly what you needed to see. And 5-2 on the board now for ZIGMA. As I said, a good retake for them in that round. They have managed to trade back the kills, at least when they were in this position, pulling it back to a 2 versus 2. I feel like, you know, when I look at Invictus at the moment, they're missing some of the key players that we talk about a lot. Obviously, Xiaosage is there. He is there in force. But Viva flying, they're not quite showing up to the extent that they normally do.
Yeah, it's definitely been a quieter start for them. Of course, the pressure is still on. That is aggressive from Niffy, and they're going to go pushing into Xiaosage. He's only good for one. The trade's fine, and it seems like ZIGMA's plan in a lot of these cases is actually just to dislodge Invictus with aggressive plays. Something quite common on this map, especially with the banana pushes. Already, though, T-side have made a lot of space. Destroyer just walks out of apartments, looking to try and clear the pit, not ready for the AWP to be holding the angle, and bit of a silly mistake. A 4 versus 4, seeming like a good position. Just Cause holding patiently on the angle. Not going to be thrown over. The peak is wide, and somehow he manages to get 2. Finally, there's a trade back, but it always seems to be far too late. Always once the round is already won. 45 seconds for Viva to try and get something done here, and can't say that I'm much of a believer at this point. There is a bit of a wide peak coming out from Rolex, a risk that wasn't really necessary. Eventually, Reality Jesus comes back into closer round. ZIGMA 6-2. Invictus, as of yet, have not really shown up.
I am getting a little bit worried, I'll be honest. Like, the reality is ZIGMA are in this position where, you know, I consider and say, oh, well, Vivo, they'll come back in. They're just, they're making these kind of mistakes, blah, blah. The reality is ZIGMA are looking good. There's no denying it with the scoreline that's in their favor. And if Invictus don't wake up, if we don't see Flying and Viva come through and start delivering these big plays that we're used to seeing, well, then that one clutch, that one lucky play, the second lucky play as well that came in, might be enough to give the map over towards ZIGMA, at least to give them massive advantage coming into the next half. It's getting a little bit scary.
On this round at least. 5 Deegs. They really are just trying some ridiculous solo plays, just walking up mid. Going on a little jaunt to try and find a kill, some information. This time they've set Reality Jesus up. It's a bit weird that you've got PP Overdose just sat at the back of site. I'm guessing he's boosted up. And thus, it's just part of the plan to almost just bait them in with the AWP. I'd prefer a little bit more team play, a bit more synergy, because if he goes down, there is no chance of a trade and a free AWP into the hands of the opponents. He's actually not boosted up, so this makes even less sense. It's almost like they're just trying to sell it as a 4-1, I guess. Say that the other players have rotated away and hope that the opponents don't check, which is very much a possibility. It is common that you see this, but there goes one, and yep, they don't check. But he's only got 1 kill so far. Needs to get more. Flying has come in. Now they've got an AWP, or had an AWP, and an AK. And again, the trade comes a little bit too late. In isolation, this round's not bad. If they get a bomb plant, especially, the flash comes through. He's dead. Shouldn't be able to get around the corner, but they're a little bit slow. The spray down is close. It's a really nice attempt from Invictus and Flying, but it is still going to be ZIGMA taking a 7th round.
It's getting very, very scary at this stage, isn't it? I mean, no matter how close these rounds are coming, the 2v2s, the 1v1s, they're not going Invictus's way. And, you know, we often end up in a position where we're saying, oh, well, you know, at the end of the day, a lot of these rounds were close, blah, blah, blah. If the team wins every single clutch situation, I don't think there's any denying they look like the better team, right?
Oh. As of right now, they're looking dicey. They've still had glimmers of what we expect to see from them, but I haven't been able to close any of these rounds. It's sort of the classic. Like, you look at the amount of money that ZIGMA have. This does not look like a team that have won like a fair few rounds in a row. It looks like a team that's had a real back and forth, but just none of the rounds have actually been closed. In fact, it is 5 rounds in a row now for the side of ZIGMA. Had a few sort of questionable plays in the early rounds, but I have to say they're not looking anywhere near as bad as they did when they played against After. Maybe just playing down to the level of that team. Aggressive play. Nice shot from Viva, though. An important opener. We see the AWP kind of switch between him and Destroyer, depending on the situation, and Flying, waiting on the edge of the smoke. Much better stuff. They're catching these aggressive plays out, which was something that, as said, that seemed to be the reaction from ZIGMA in a lot of these rounds. PP Overdose has rotated in quite quickly, though, and they've left Niffy as the solo player towards this B site. He might be called upon here, as we are now seeing the rotation coming back. 3 players looking to try and put pressure on the B site, but because of this, they've given a 1v1 duel, and Destroyer's gone down, leaving Niffy in a position where even if he gets a kill here, his teammates are going to have an opportunity. There goes the smokes, the flashbangs over the top, the spam through is going to be met by nothing, and he's got to be careful not to fall. But all in all, from a 5v3, this is winnable.
It is. It is winnable when you look over towards the Invictus side, and that should be it. Should be at lockdown. Rolex, they don't even have the money to go for this. And this is what we were talking about, right? A lot of these rounds have been very close. So you can see that ZIGMA just don't have the money to really commit towards a retake like this. And Rolex, yeah, he's definitely not going to go for it, but he's going to look for exits as well. And it's not even a bad play. Like, their buy is going to be terrible in the next round. And even that one rifle removed from the T-side's hands is going to cause them a bit of knockback if they lose the next round. Obviously, it's unlikely considering, as I said, the buy being so weak for ZIGMA, but I don't mind it. I feel like it's a risky play. Like, if it was me, to put it this way, if it was me, I would call for that save, the hard save. I wouldn't value the exit that much, just because it's likely Invictus build that money up coming into this round, and I'd rather have the AK to do damage coming into this one when you've got teammates to back you up. But it's not the worst if you can maybe trap him in with the bomb, and I can see arguments for it.
I think that interests me is well, at least in my eyes, ZIGMA have bought way too much.
1350, 1200, 1000, 100%. Yeah.
So they can't buy next round. So I don't. the thing that like if you go all in here, I may not necessarily agree, but I understand it. Like you're saving money to eventually get your full buy. If you save here completely, understand it. You want to come back in and with a buy in the next round. This is just a mid ground that makes no sense because you're removing the chance or lowering the chance of you winning the round because none of you have armor or any utility, but you're also removing the chance of you buying into the next round. The only sort of question you could say is they want to make sure they have absolutely everything going in a couple of rounds time, which I guess could make a bit of sense, but it still just seems like an odd one. And well, with the rifle falling, one of the pistols as well, I wouldn't even mind if they just saved into the next round. I don't know how that's happened. Like Destroyer is having a really rough game, and I feel like a lot of his plays rely on him doing something sneaky, like individually getting somewhere. Like we saw it a lot on Nuke yesterday, where he was playing really well when he was able to sneak outside, catch people off guard. And once Vici adapted to like hold outside a little bit better, I don't even know if he got a kill since. And now that, like, I personally, I don't think he has that many levels to his game, is what I'm trying to say. So, for example, this game hasn't been going very well. He's still trying to make those plays which are completely unnecessary. He doesn't need to be aggressive in library with an AK. The rest of his teammates were just hiding back and holding onto their weaponry. He's given a free rifle over now. Completely unnecessary.
Yep, 100%. I'd love to see teams move towards hard stat-based decisions. Like I feel like what we've got for ZIGMA in that instance was just a straight up, oh, I want a deagle. And so they have a deagle. And then in this round, they're like, I want an M4, but I can't afford one. How's this happened? That doesn't make sense. But even when it comes towards some other teams, I've seen teams take ecos in positions where they can cripple their opponent's economy and vice versa, actually force buying, not fully knowing, evidently, like their percentage win rate when it comes into these kind of force buys. Like, if you're going to win the majority of your force buy rounds, it's worth going for. But I feel like a lot of teams will judge based on feeling more so. And I guess it's because a lot outside of the top 20 don't have analysts to work with. How's this happen?
Oh, he jumped through the smoke. That's so unlucky. That is so unlucky. He's lighting up the headshot, and just as he goes to shoot, his opponent jump throws a smoke, so he shoots him in the butt cheeks instead of in the head. That is probably painful, but well, a flawless try. And this is sort of the difference, right? The rounds that Invictus, this is now what, the second, maybe even third. No, obviously they lost one in the last round because Destroyer decided to play very aggressive. But this is like the second completely flawless round that they've managed to win. Obviously, one of the other rounds was with 4 players. So these rounds have been so much cleaner for Invictus that they just managed to basically get themselves a huge bank of cash to rely on. Whereas the CT side have consistently had issues. We're actually going to see the double open as well. Now, I don't think ZIGMA were playing particularly bad without it. I've sort of harped on a lot of teams because they seem to force the double op setup for absolutely no reason at all, even with players that don't seem to be particularly good at AWPing. Hello, Tiger. And yeah, we're going to see whether or not this one will work. That is a really bold peek. They just ran straight through, and luckily there was a huge whiff out from Reality Jesus. So they got a bit lucky here. I think this round could have easily gone the other way, but okay, Flying. I think he's had enough. Like, this seems to be like a player who's just gone, okay, all right, guys, that's too much. Like, this is now getting out of hand, and he's just gone ham. But yeah, there was, as they ran out, I don't believe anybody actually checked short side, and there were 2 players there, and neither of them got a kill.
Yeah. It looked like Reality Jesus had sort of intruded on a party. You know, he'd snuck up behind them. They had no idea he was there. But the thing is, for ZIGMA, 7 rounds, right? They're in a good spot. They were. But now with 6 picked up for Invictus, it's already a good T-half. And this is what I was worried about. This is why I wasn't coming in saying, oh, ZIGMA, they're dominating. They're unreal. Because Viva, once these guys step up, what I was waiting for them to do for 9 rounds. Once it eventually happens, you end up in this position where, okay, Invictus are right back in the game. They're T-side Inferno. They're coming right back into it, and this is fine. Anything they get from here forward is a bonus, and they're set up versus a very weak buy from ZIGMA, so odds are this round goes their way. And you can see even ZIGMA agree, not force buying it up, but instead conceding this one essentially. Playing with the AWP, with the pistols, but keeping the majority of their money for the next round.
Oh, the Molotov didn't quite land where it was supposed to, but neither did the shot. Not the easiest shot in the world to hit, but in rounds like this, that can definitely make all the difference. And they managed to take banana control, but with the AWP being spotted, you just hit A, right? You're not really going to risk going anywhere near that. Reality Jesus, as you could see, he's saving up for his AWP once again. Niffy probably going to buy another one, although I haven't seen it in action just yet. I think that's maybe one of the first shots he's actually fired of it. Now with under a minute on the clock, it seems like the T's, they've gained the space they need. Nice shot from Rolex. There's also going to be aggressive push from Reality Jesus. I thought he was just going to hold in the apartments, but clearly wanted to try and catch someone off guard. In these sort of rounds, you can kind of understand the risks just cause living a little bit longer than expected, but eventually it's quite clinical. And as you can see, the AWP is already dashing away towards the spawn. So 7-7. So this was 7-2. Ooh. Yeah, 7-2. So this has definitely slipped away. It did seem like it took a little bit of time for Invictus to really build into this one. I think also, like, it's quite common, in fact, especially with the matches we've seen so far in this tournament, the better team a lot of the time goes down a few rounds because, well, ZIGMA were doing silly things. So Invictus are just like, well, Vici wouldn't do that. What's going on? And then after a while they go, okay, guys, for the first minute, let's do nothing. And I'm not like, do nothing? Why are we doing? Just hold and they'll give us a kill. And, well, that has been the case. Like, even in this round, they get the first kill and then someone just runs in and goes, ah, and just gets instantly shot. So also, I think a couple of their players, for example, Flying had a really slow start to the game. He now has 16 kills. Destroyer still not having the best game, and Viva had a couple of good rounds, but nothing to write home about. So yeah, they're now like booming with cash. 15,000 for Viva, 13,900 for Flying, and they're looking to just take this half home. And actually, we don't see the secondary AWP pick back up. That's almost perfectly described what I was talking about, like literally a second ago. Like, yeah. Oh, let's just wait, and he just runs into the crosshair of Banana. Like, that's madness. Yeah, so advice for you at home: if you're gonna do that, have a flash. Like, have one of your teammates flash for you. Don't just wide swing Banana in a versus a full buy round where you know there's an AWP on the other side, especially when they have been holding and waiting for your peaks. That was ludicrous, borderline stupidity. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. They're flashing through the smoke. This makes me feel uncomfortable. Neither of them. That seems to keep happening for Invictus. Everybody looks the same way. Like, no, there's supposed to be synergy where one of you looks one way, one of you looks the other way. So, oh, I thought he got him. It was actually a nade. Destroyer now. 1 versus 3. Looking like ZIGMA are going to get themselves the half unless this man can finally step up and do the things we were seeing of him yesterday. He did have an overall good series versus Beyond, or no, versus Vici. And versus Beyond, to be fair. Looking for the cross. First shot, gonna go a miss. He somehow gets the second one, and what? This is all slipping away. There's only 10 seconds on the clock. He needs to get on the bomb. He's got it just about. That is very lucky for ZIGMA. They've made my butt cheeks clench there, but they will get themselves the defuse.
Tom, what did I say about exciting Dinko? Come on. Gotta keep it nondescript on this one.
I don't want him to miss the next segment.
Trying to speed it up. Good man. I respect it. Only takes a few minutes, he said, so I think he needs it. He certainly had a few minutes in this game anyways, because it has gone to a decent distance in this first half. We're sat at 8-7. Curious strategy for the final round as well. 4v4, pushing to B, don't look at sight. It's sort of like you know, in the movies when they say like, just look at the sunset. So they can give them a nice peaceful end. Like rush into B, but
I
don't
just
look at the
wonder
sun.
if maybe Bottle and well, Oi played different. Like he used to always look right, and now he just can't get out of his head. Because that's happened a few times now. It happened when they rushed into the A site or into mid. Everybody looked left. Nobody looked towards the short side, and they just got away with it because some shots were whiffed. Like that's now happened 2, maybe 3 times when they're pushing somewhere where they both look the same way. So I just wonder if that's just down to they're both used to doing it and, and just forgot that they're supposed to be looking the other way. Early kill goes the way of the CT side, but now it's left all onto Zhao Sage. Clinical first shot. Needs a second. He needs at least one more, and he gets it. That's going to set his teammates up for a retake. They do have a kit available. They're also using a flash, interestingly. As said, personally, I like a smoke, but I can see the benefits, especially on Inferno. Flash through. This battle's important. Rolex needs to win it, and he's not going to. It's left all onto Niffy. Will Niffy be a bit whiffy? No, he won't. 2 quick kills. Bomb not yet being defused. Oh, the timing just about works out for him. Bottle does have the kit, but we've got a game of Ring Around the Rosie. He's going to get himself down, and he wins the clutch. It's an important pistol for ZIGMA. They've now won both of them. They've got everything they need. They had a 7-2 start. They should be taking this map, but they are up against one of the titans of Asian Counter-Strike, so not a believer just yet.
Yeah, massive problem there for Invictus, just going in one by one. I appreciate
not
Destroyer.
to play
Like, I appreciate Destroyer dying. Like, he'd already taken a frag. He got isolated. It's fine. But then in the 2v1 group up, for God's sake, and push together. What are you doing? This is like kindergarten level Counter-Strike. It's something you can't really allow to just slip out of your hands. 4 Deagles, yeah, that's the play. There we go, Viva. Oh my god, what is going on? This Deagle, he's just torn them apart. And what did I tell you, Tom? The formula, it's been proven.
Okay, quick reactions from Rolex. They do still have an AK available to them, and only 1 man left on the A site. They haven't managed to retrieve any of the weaponry either, so it is still just going to be the Deagles available to them. They've actually gambled a player back towards A, so that would be the rotation out from Viva. Still technically on for the ace. Flying and Bottle both still with smokes, actually, so that they could use a little bit of utility to try and deny. This is going to come down to a 1v1 for Bottle. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, he's not been baited just yet. He's actually going to go all the way back to the site and just try and hold more passively. Push coming in, that's an easy kill, and now they've realized this fake really hasn't worked too well, but PP overdose. That AK comes into play, goes for the deep smoke, taken into CT. A little bit unfortunate they're actually both coming from Banana. So he's going to try and get aggressive, and that smoke might actually give him away a little bit. Because you'll see that smoke, you'll know that it's gone down, and you'll realize, okay, chance... Oh, is he actually just... Oh, dear. He's now completely sectioned off. This is going to be quite confusing for him, especially trying to make his way through. We've seen him make this play multiple times. It worked once. It didn't quite work the second. He's going to make it work again, though. Oh, they are clutching at straws, literally, to win these rounds. That's a 1v3, and you guessed it, a 1v3 to win 2 rounds in a row. ZIGMA, they've just got a couple of players that are dragging them through, and one of them is Mr. PP.
The PP is certainly gigantic when it comes down to impact, and that's what we like to see, right? This guy isn't here to mess around. He's here to dominate and win these games. That's exactly what he's doing for his team. 10-7 is one hell of a scoreline. It's a position for ZIGMA where they've got to be over the moon at the moment. Like, the position that they're in, round-wise, is fantastic. Now, what remains to be seen, though, is whether they can deliver time after time. And I think, you know, when you look at Invictus, you really have to believe that there's just going to be this element that they're just going to pop back up out of nowhere. Viva again on a Deagle, able to do this damage, and considering the impact that they managed to have on such a weak buy in the previous round, you definitely don't want to challenge that Deagle all too many times. You don't want to give them the space or the time of day.
Yeah, they can't even really afford to lose any more players. Like this is already getting costly enough, and they've got Just Cause actually trapped in this corner. Viva might not know if he's crossed back. I guess that's the only saving grace here. They're keeping the majority of their players on B, and it does look like they're still planning on pushing in this direction. Oh, he was still moving. He was still moving. Viva, stop it! This is insane. Back-to-back rounds with this Deagle. He shouldn't buy anything else. 30 seconds left. Viva's going to take a tag. They eventually clear this back corner. And now Destroyer's walk through. He's got one off the back of the boost. Peeking in his left all onto Rolex. He now needs to 1v4. It's been clutch after clutch. A 1v3 in the pistol. 1v3 in the force by round. He needs a 1v4 in 13 seconds. It's not happening. Viva is an absolute machine. It's that back-to-back quad kills he's just got off the back of a Deagle.
Yep. Like, what do you do against that? What do you do? The position right now for Viva, as I said, you know, when you look at him on the Deagle, it's not something that you want to really give the space at the time of day to just shine on through, and they gave him every opportunity, pushing into him one at a time as he just domed. Look at it. It's disgusting. It really and truly is.
It was 3 and 4. It was 3 and 4.
Oh, 3 and 4. Okay.
Even still. That's
yeah. I'm not going to call him
a $700 investment. This guy has just gone from being like one of the quieter players in this match to one of the top fraggers. And now, while the Deagles on the other side are not doing anything of the sort, flying, it's just in spawn. Just Cause is in the smoke. They've all walked past him. They've all walked past him. No, no, not again. Oh, thank you. Viva is the Deeg and the anti-Deeg at the same time. Rolex, he's still going to get one, but Bottle will be there to close it out. 10-9. That was a force buy, just in case you didn't know. So that is now going to have to be the eco round. And, well, unless they have some Viva level plays, they are going to be falling behind. As the scoreline will be 10-10.
Well, you never know. I mean, there's not 4 Eagles in play for ZIGMA, so obviously they're not going to win this round. They haven't figured out the magic formula just yet. But this round could go their way if they weren't just getting absolutely wrecked. Torn apart. Finish it through the smoke. Go on, boys. Niffy somehow just clinging on to life here. That nade. Oh, he's on 2 HP. And he sprayed back. He's gone. He's dead. That's like, you know, you watch Star Wars, Tom. You know the trash compactor scene?
Where's this guy?
You know in the trash compactor. I think it's episode 4.
Yeah, I know. And there's the monster underneath in the water.
Yeah, I was just going with the walls. I don't have anything for the monster. Maybe it's the nade. Maybe it's Dinko's big monster. But who knows?
Oh dear.
The Dingo buys those large cans of Monster. He likes to drink lots of energy drinks.
Well, yeah, and his girlfriend loves Monster Munch.
In fairness, Monster Munch, absolutely banging. They are gorgeous.
Yeah, great crisps. Great crisps.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a bad joke.
Mighty Munch, on the other hand, trash. I'm so disappointed, dude. I was in Lidl. I picked up 2 Mighty Munch because I thought they were Monster Munch. I was like, hell yeah, dude! They've got them in Lidl. This is sick.
Munch.
Yeah, they're a purple bag and they're like pickled onion and they taste like ass. They're terrible.
How do they get away with this?
See, isn't it? And the thing is, the rule. I remember we studied it. You studied marketing, right? Isn't it like an idiot in a rush or something like that? So if you think I need a drink really quickly, and you run into a store and you see a can that looks exactly like a can of Coke, but it's called Cola Coca, for example. But you run in, you see red, you see the silver writing, the same cursive text. If you're not really looking, you're in a rush and you're like, oh, I really need a drink of Coke. You're like, oh, there we go, that's Coke. Bang. Out you go, you drink it, and you go, what the hell is this? This isn't Coke. If it can trick you like that, if it looks similar enough that in a rush you can be tricked by it, it's illegal. And yet somehow they've gotten away with that, which tricked me. I know it's a different color, but...
Oh, this is Whiff City at the moment for Invictus. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure, especially because there's like the own brand stuff as well. It might just be like their own brand, and then it's sort of like, oh, if we sell your Monster Munch, you have to let us basically rip off your thing. So there are things like that where you're like Tesco own, which is almost identical to the original thing, just made of crappier ingredients.
Yeah, I mean, you'll find it as well with like branded technology. I know Dinko made a great point a while back about there's a comparison online, and this exists for many things, but where there will be like, it was for a cam link anyways. I won't bring up brands for future sponsor sake, but brand A and brand
ruined
B.
my Tesco brand.
But brand A and brand B, for example, of a cam link, and there will be a video online where they open them up, and brand A is an actual, globally recognized brand that has prestige and is used by streamers, all that sort of stuff, and it's say $80, and then brand B will be just like some random Chinese factory brand that you've never heard of before, and it will be $6, and they are literally made in the same factory. Like, they come from the same place, and when you open them up, they are identical. The only difference is there's clearly an extra stage of the production step where they stamp in brand A to one of them, and then that costs, you're paying like
I've heard
$80
that about some chair brands, but I'm definitely not going to bring that up here.
Yeah, definitely don't do
that. Either way, it started off strong aggression from Destroyer. He will succeed this time. As said, I feel like he's very one-dimensional and he's not prepared. Maybe blaming flying a little bit there. Might have fallen asleep at the wheel. Even still, though, Invictus have got themselves a strong advantage. Remember, the last round was squeaky clean for ZIGMA, so their money's not in too bad a state, but they want to at least try and do some damage here. The economy of the CT side's pretty good. They've managed to weave their way through the smokes. 45 seconds. They're going to try and go barreling through them, flying left blind, but clearing his position is going to be tough. No, never mind. I guess not, really. It seemed like he wasn't aware, but the crossfire is enough, and we end 11-11. Just to bear in mind, this was, again, both pistols for ZIGMA. They were winning 7-2, and they just got they just got a round on the board, so their money is going to be hurting again because they've sort of reset their own loss bonus. Invictus, on the other hand, have had to grind. They've had to climb back. Some crazy deagle kills out from Viva have given them a big boost, that's for sure. And I don't think this has been anywhere near the cleanest performance. So they could have had the pistol themselves if they didn't make some pretty serious errors. As said, we've seen them on the T side both check the same angles as they run into a position rather than actually working together. I definitely don't think things are completely ironed out just yet. And Sage actually gets bitten by his own trick. It turns out if you spray back with an AK into the smoke, it can work. Viva, are they going to check, though? They should. They definitely should, but they don't. And thus, the youngster again is going to get himself a double.
That was the advantage in play for Invictus for a moment, but it's been pulled back straight away. Nifty with another, and Flying's got a 1 versus 1 now. The B-site plant undoubtedly going to be coming through as Nifty drops that bomb onto the floor, and Flying's a little bit cautious about oh no, even better. He's played a deep flash towards Banana, but Nifty, he knows something is afoot. Flying's going to run on into him here, and Nifty, big brain. And the flash down towards the bottom Banana was obviously to try and sell out the fact that he was going Banana. But Nifty knew what was going on. He realized, well, why would you flash bottom Banana when you know I'm planting the bomb?
It's one of those things where it's like, I get the idea, like I see why it was done, but at the same time, like, who's flashing that? Like, you lose all element of surprise in a 1v1. Like, you basically... Like, it seems like the only time where you're talking about using utility would actually be a stupid thing to do. So he just played it in a way of like, okay, he's flashed down there. Even if he is going in that direction, I can play behind this smoke and he can't do anything about it. If he comes my way, I get a free kill.
Yeah, exactly.
So this round for the CT side is crunch time. Their money now on the brink. Tees are in just as bad a position. Viva, he has taken matters into his own hand over the last few rounds. And I can kind of see why. Like, his teammates haven't been playing their best, and he's been wrecking people with deegs. So, yeah, just had enough. The 20-year-old has decided just to run down Banana. And, well, I sort of set this up as a crucial crunch round. No one dies. No one dies.
It's a nice clean one, isn't it? That's, I suppose, what we're here to see, some clean Counter-Strike, and when you walk away with all 5 players, you're going to be nice and happy, aren't you? Big smiles all around. And for Invictus, again, coming away with that round, it's a good answer back. It's a very important one, most definitely. And I think we saw an attempt at a much faster play, a much more aggressive brand of Counter-Strike coming out from ZIGMA, but in this instance, it most certainly has not worked out in their favor. I think they've got to be going back to the drawing board, but it's going to be one more round before we see exactly what that entails, because obviously they're coming into this round with nothing really. And of course, they've managed to double open it with PP Overdose. What the hell's going on?
Well, well, well. Nothing is sacred anymore, Mitch. Just nothing. Oh, okay. That was questionable. Viva, yeah. I feel bad for the dude at this point. Gonna pick up the AWP. Just expecting somebody to maybe peek. In fact, just gonna opt to try and save it, just walking away. Yeah. We've seen too many of these rounds. PP Overdose has definitely been one of those players to watch. High levels of risk to his gameplay. That's why his statistics are never really going to be crazy good. But yeah, he's given them, basically single-handedly given them a 13th round onto the board. And every time ZIGMA look like they're down, something happens to bring them back, be it a silly overface or a risk. I also don't understand how Invictus go from winning a flawless round to this. It just, sure, it's some nice shots, but it just wasn't good enough. And, well, their money is going to be all right. They can drop the AWP back over to Destroyer. Zalsage will have to be handed a weapon as well, but other than that, it's going to be okay.
It genuinely feels sometimes like, you know, round to round, they are just completely different teams.
They're not buying?
And they
Why?
haven't all and nothing else. Why have they done that? Yeah, I don't know. Invictus are playing a really weird game right now. Like, peeking into the Deagles one at a time in the previous round. They only had one. Now they come into this one and they've decided that the investment just doesn't need to make sense.
They easily had enough money. Like, yeah. I think it was, okay, Xiaosage was a little bit low, but it could have been Viva buying himself, dropping the AWP over to Flying, or no, to Destroyer. Destroyer buys a rifle and no head armor, and then drops a gun over to Xiaosage. Like, it makes a lot of sense. I guess they're just going to win with the pistols instead, though, so it doesn't really matter too much. Okay. Yeah. There are some places where I just think they're not checking. Destroyer's got the bomb. For God's sake. This is Counter-Strike 101. What? What?
Again, I don't know. I don't know, Tom. I think there is very little that can be said.
Do you have like a power nap, like midway through?
Oh, man. You lock down the bomb, you just get wrecked. And, I mean, again, we're in this position where it feels like on the Invictus side, there are 2 players that we can highlight that are the reason that they're alive right now. Xiaosage in the first couple rounds, Flying coming into the latter half of the T side, and then obviously Viva as well, I suppose, with his Deagle plays have been nuts. But it feels almost like a flash in the pan for Invictus, you know? Like, what are they doing the majority of the time? They're losing these rounds that they never should be. And for ZIGMA, 14-12, the likelihood is they end up walking away with this. This should have been an easy and quick 2-0. It's simple as. But somehow we're in this position. I don't know. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Oh, they saved for this buy. Still don't really understand why. Like, I think that mathematically they could have easily traded things out. Again, it's Viva. 23-12. He has been superb. I think, like, honestly, Destroyer's the one I'm looking at, where I just think he's had so many really questionable plays throughout this match. This is risky from Viva. But I almost feel like it's sort of like that catalyst player. Sort of like what we saw with Ronin in the last match, where it's like he almost has to do this, otherwise they lose, which is somewhat depressing because they should be the better team here. They're definitely better individually. It's just that, yeah, some of the plays, some of the synergy is really off so far in this match. And the T's were getting ready to try and make a play. towards A. They've been denied for now. Good flashbang. Doesn't actually get an assist off it. I don't really know how. Unless that's the T's flashbangs. No, it is. It's flying. Setting up Destroyer. A couple of better kills. Flying is going to go down eventually, but now Destroyer can switch his gaze, and he has support from Bottle as well. Rolex with 12 HP. I might actually just want to save here, but he's going to get taken down. Money is still in a really weird spot for ZIGMA because, again, they never seem to win any of these rounds particularly clean. So they can sort of buy. It's not going to be good, though.
Oh, I don't know what I'm watching sometimes, Tom. I'll be completely honest. Like, the fact that Invictus made the questionable buy in the previous round, then they basically won the round, and then they threw it away, and now they're in a position where yet again we're like, are you actually going to win this game? Like, as Dingo said earlier, and as I said yesterday, this is why I have trust issues. I don't know who I can believe, who I can trust in these sort of circumstances. And at the moment, it certainly seems to be at least a solid start for Invictus. They've come through with the opening, the crunch in on Banana, finding that opening frag, landing a position where at least this should be doable. Should be. Being the key word on that one. As the man advantage has left Xiao Sage on very low HP.
And here comes the push. Nice nade going through. Viva. Just an absolute machine with the spray down, the boost. Not checked. And, well, it leaves into a 3v1. Now, we have seen far too many of these clutch situations come out for ZIGMA. It is basically the only reason they are in this match. They won 2 back-to-back 1v3s, and there's been some real disjointed retakes, I guess you could say. A Destroyer's waiting patiently. Actually, it looks like they're going to try and flash through the smoke. Bit of a risk. The Molotov's a good one, though, and that's much better. This is what we sort of expect to see from the likes of Invictus. They made that look very easy, barely took any damage, and have the retake no problems. And now this is actually the worst case, really, for ZIGMA. Their money is screwed. It's all right. Just get PP overdose at Deagle, and that'll be enough.
It should be. It should be. Based on what we've seen so far. You know, Logic is only a few steps away at any time, but it's always a few steps too far, it seems. I really would like to see Invictus, I guess, spend more time if they have. I don't know if they have a coach or not, but if they do, maybe spend some more time having a chat with him. Take him out to dinner. Figure out what's going on, because as you said, there's a lot of issues when it comes down to the synergy department. In this round, though, there shouldn't be any issues. There should not be a single worry when it comes to the ZIGMA side, because, or to thinking about the ZIGMA side, because Invictus have got everything to play with, and ZIGMA only have pistols. I've said this before, and then ZIGMA have gone on to win the round with the Deagle. So let's hope that this is the one time that logic prevails.
I'm not holding my breath, but I think we're good. I think we're good here. It's left onto Niffy with a Glock in a 1 versus 5. If he wins this, I'm turning off my computer. So thankfully, Bottle will keep me here. It is going to be ZIGMA now being able to buy. The last-ditch effort. It's been a weird match, for sure. I was expecting a lot more from Invictus on Inferno. I know Blair going into this sort of had his doubts. And the fact that this map came out for them, I can very much understand why now. This has not been convincing. They've made huge mistakes. And, well, it's evident they've got a hell of a lot of work to do. And if it wasn't for their 2 sort of young stars performing to a very, very high standard, they would have lost this map.
Some would say they should have picked Nuke. That's what Paddy O'Shea was telling me.
Yeah, that's true.
Of course, he thought they had chosen it, but he was speaking Chinese, so it's kind of hard to understand sometimes. I haven't finished my degree in Mandarin, so gotta get there. Paddy O'Shea, of course, my good Chinese friend, is a ghost, obviously. Spirit. Conveys vetoes to me every now and then.
Oh, this is aggressive. trying to put the pain in here, but it's actually going to be Xiao Sage just, well, patient. He's not had a bad game either, to be fair. I think Bottle still looks out of place in a lot of these rounds. Flying, this is the crossfire. It's a little bit more of an aggressive crossfire than we normally see. Normally he's further back, but Destroyer does have his back this time. A little bit wary. Viva, okay, that time I don't agree with it at all. Like, you're already winning the round. Your teammate has 5 HP. That is a completely unnecessary peak. And now you've given away back into this round. Bottle's going to rotate in. There's a gap in that smoke. So he can just wait behind it. It looks like he's getting ready for a flash. He's actually going to go peeking in. It's risky, but it works. And eventually, Invictus get the job done. It wasn't clean. It wasn't pretty. And some of the plays were downright bad. And, yeah, we're going to be seeing what Blair...
Hell yeah, this is how we play Counter-Strike in this region. It's like, no, this is how they play Counter-Strike. This is not how you can play Counter-Strike. No one else can do it.
Oh, we are going to see him go down relatively early in this one. Flying, luckily, has been there to trade. Now, this is a round where at least some of the players have some weaker purchases. Now, the vent actually being closed has kind of helped them out here. It will make things really awkward in rotations, but it means that gaining some actual control from the window becomes quite difficult. They can hold on to jungle, but realistically, they should know that this position has been negated. And from the fact that Viva is currently running in the spawn, I'm going to go ahead and say they don't know that this position has been given up. Flying is going to cross his way to site. He is peeking towards connector, but I don't think he knows anything here. And the T's are just going to use this to their advantage. He gets one kill. That's it. Flying goes down. That's it. All they need is the single frag, but he spots the lone man. And now the rest of the team are looking to execute. Flying could put a spanner in the works. He's just hitting headshots. Only the headshots for Flying. As there's one man standing. What a clinical performance from him. He needed to be a savior in this round, and he was. It's left onto Just Cause. He now needs to go one better, and Xiao Sage is on the cross. That is a superb performance from Flying. And it all came down to a little bit of aggression with an MP9, an AK picked up, and then just domination with the headshots.
Yeah, sadly, there's going to be no liberation of Hantu in this one because Just Cause has just been deleted as Invictus. They come in with what was a pretty weak early game start, and then Flying turns up. And this dude is looking out for the heads. Nothing but them. It seems like his bullets are magnetized. Now, they are up against pistols in this round, but the problem is there's actually a scout in play. It's on Rolex is just 27 HP at this point, though, so it shouldn't present too much of a problem. No one's been tagged up on the CT side, and really this just comes down to what should be them being able to lock these in. I want you to just quickly take note of the fact that Destroyers found, what was it, 2 kills in this round? It's up against an eco with an aggressive top mid push, one that I couldn't disagree with more. And I feel like it's as important to point out when it fails as when it succeeds, just to further build the point of this guy isn't necessarily playing smart Counter-Strike. Here, I don't mind the push. They realize they're against pistols, though, and he continues to go. Now, he ran into what was potentially 3 pistols because the guy towards B hadn't been spotted at that point. So Just Cause may well have been there as well. So he could have been running into 2 pistols and a scout. Now, Tom, I don't know how good Destroyer thinks he is, but if you run into 2 pistols and a scout, you're not going to win that fight most of the time. Especially if that scout tags you, you're dead.
Overdoses. Similarly, made a very aggressive play. Tries to run all the way down short. The smokes don't quite shroud him enough, and Destroyer, well, he's might not be making the smartest of plays, but he is hitting his shots. So I guess the guys on Invictus are not going to mind too much. He's got a couple of openers for them here. The one thing they did in the last map was punish him. And that's the problem. That's the one thing for ZIGMA is if they don't punish someone like Destroyer, he will destroy them. Yes, it's in the name, but it is low-hanging fruit, I guess, Mitch. But that's the thing. He will just continue to run riot. He's not going to stop. It's not one of those people where they realize they've had enough and they then like chill for a bit and rethink their game. He's just going to continue to aggress until eventually he's punished. And well, it's looking like a 5-0 start for Invictus. Niffy and Just Cause trying to bring this situation back, flying already with aggressive ramp control. So even if they do manage to kill Viva at the back, which that's easier said than done, this man now has the perfect position to be the flank, to be the nail in the coffin in this round. Nice shot from Viva. And this is kind of what I mean. Like, breaking him down is difficult enough, and they don't even know that there's a second player around this back spot. It's taken a very long time for him to retrieve the bomb as well. Flying, just going to run in, even denies the plant. Great round from Invictus. Almost looked too easy from them. And things for ZIGMA, very disjointed, very aggressive, and, well, a complete failure.
Yeah. For ZIGMA, as we said, this is going to be a much tougher map. And if you're wondering why, 5-0, we're obviously talking quite positively about Invictus and not so much about ZIGMA. Sorry, quite positively about Invictus and not giving the same caveats as we did in the previous map for ZIGMA. You do have to remember that in the previous map, the rounds they were building up were off of like 1v3s coming out of nowhere. Players pushing, like PP Overdose pushing through a smoke and catching 3 players off guard. It was like 1v1s that were going their way. These rounds have not been close. This has been Invictus just absolutely stomping from start to finish. There's been a couple of opportunities for Zig. Oh my god, they've not cleared the back corner. Even when Flying shoots, they don't turn. And eventually, they're going to deal with him, but Destroyer's here, and he's shutting them down. Now, these last 2 rounds from Destroyer have been really good. This is where I can definitely stand up and say he's doing a damn good job, because that A-hold was fantastic both times. A 2K and a 3K from him, up against rifles, and that's what I like to see.
Yeah, it seems like his crossfire on this site, or his like synergy, I guess you could say, with Flying looks a lot better. And Flying has been, they've really struggled. They have really, really struggled with getting past him on this site. And now Viva's got his AWP in play as well. That's another factor. They've given too much over, and the money is ridiculous. Shout Sage, he wants a piece of the pie, Mitch. Slightly more passive way of going about it. Still going to get domed. And then Destroyer. Oh, there you go. He's finally been punished. It doesn't matter too much, but they have managed to retrieve a rifle. It could be an opening into this round. And she Just Cause again. Now, this has been a position on the map where I feel like they're getting this far too freely. And I really like this from Just Cause. Oh, Viva, smart, but he doesn't manage to connect the shots. And I wonder if this could finally be the punish. You can see that Otto has realized that he is being pushed from behind. Actually going to peek into this angle. It looks like he might Flying. Oh, he might have just won this round. He's got the bomb. Nice shot from Just Cause, but he's got to run the gauntlet all the way back around. Flying has been, as said, an absolute menace so far. 11 kills, 3 deaths. Pushing, expecting him to come in that direction, but in fact, there's a real chance that Just Cause could steal the bomb away and go towards A.
A good chance indeed. You know, where does Flying go? Is he going underpass? Was he just hurt? Did Just Cause hear the drop down? He should have been within range to hear that, right? Oh man, that's terrible. That's actually a disaster. I think he has heard it. It really looks like he did. He's just running towards the A site now, but hold on. Flying's here. He's going to be in
Oh,
connector, and I don't know if Just Cause has the read because he's still running. He's barreling towards the site. The time is so low, he has to go.
he's so
But that
smart.
gives Flying the time to take that kill quickly. And 7-0. What a round by Invictus. I mean, that one comes to a 1v1, sure, but with Invictus winning it, they are miles ahead.
Yeah, I in isolation though, it's a pretty bad round. Like
Oh, yeah.
that was just Deagles. It was Xiao Sage staying around too long. Finally, they managed to punish Destroyer, and then some really good plays lurking around the back lines with the AK to actually do a lot of damage. It just came down to, again, Flying. He's playing very well, and that was a smart rotation towards the end of the round. They're going for a fast play again. Now they haven't brought the bomb with them, so they've taken Apps control. They've pushed into mid. They've taken Palace. Never mind. And the bomb's still just sat at the back. So there would be a severe hesitation. Destroyer, he can peek everything at the moment. Like, they have punished him once, and it was with pistols. Other than that, he's been able to face any position on the map, be it top mid, window, connector, and they haven't shut him down. And okay, Bottle might have got a little bit overzealous there, but they're just trying to hunt down this orb. They know that Reality Jesus is going to try and hold on to this, so they're going to want to kill him off.
I respect it. You know, you want to really take that weapon, the valuable one, out of their hands, and considering the money that's in play for Invictus, Tom, I think it is fair to say that they could have afforded to, they could afford to have lost a couple of weapons. Just a few here and there, maybe. They're sat up above 10k on
Dear
almost
Lord.
every player. It's ridiculous.
151 and 144, and Niffy has 10 ADR. Was a headshot though.
At least.
When he did get a kill, it was clean.
Yes.
Although
Unfortunately.
that only registers kills, so it doesn't like he could have body shot him and then headshot him, and it would still say 100% headshot.
Yeah.
Bottle under pressure. Actually, they managed to get this B site. A 2-for-2 trade is absolutely fine, especially with the pistols. Reality Jesus, I like this. He's got very aggressive. Oh, the timing couldn't be worse. Destroyer pulls out a nade and gets caught because of it. Left into a 2 versus 3. Peek out, bit risky, not necessary. Why are you taking that fight? That was silly. He does get wallbanged in the end, but he was still facing. That smoke is actually going to go onto the side. I don't know if that was meant at all. Viva pushing, teammate just behind him. They got to be careful of the apps. Both players looking the same way. PP overdose will get both.
Has been a fairly sad turn of affairs, really, for ZIGMA. To eventually get around on the board, though, might be the turning point for them. I doubt it, because they're up against buy after buy after buy for the CT side. They've given them so much money. They can pull out double up setups if they want to. They can do whatever the hell they want. And, you know, you can find one round here or there. There's been some that are close, but really, it's just going to have to be so convincing. It's going to have to be such a big turnaround from what we've seen on the previous maps that I don't know if I can quite believe in this one. As we see some mid-contention coming through. Good smokes down by ZIGMA. Force the CTs not completely out of here. It looks like there's maybe going to be an attempt at retaking some control by Xiao Sage, but he's in trouble if he goes for this. He's going to go. He's going to peek this. The molly down, though. It might just have saved his life.
Oh. Now Saga gonna peek. That seems to be what most of the game plan has been so far. Never mind, Reality Jesus actually just wide swings and manages to find the kill. Gives them the man advantage once again. There's been some decent openers found onto a few different players, and Flying's finally going to be punished as well. They've started to expect the aggression. They're learning, Mitch. But, wow, Invictus have been able to take any control that they want. If we're just a bit more patient in the early stages of these rounds, even still, though, there is going to be a kill back onto short. Nice shot from Viva. These are going to be gathering up into an A hit. Destroyer actually going to go pushing all the way back under bout. Oh, what? He's on a ladder. That's not fair. That shouldn't be a headshot as well. Come on. You lucky, lucky man. That's a peak you should be punished for, not rewarded. But the game of Counter-Strike can be cruel sometimes. PP Overdose has spotted him. They don't have much time to play with, though. That's the clear, but the bomb's been dropped. This round is as good as done. He has to just run the gauntlet, retrieve it, and he's realized there's not enough time. And he's even going to get killed on the way out. Viva again with an explosive round. And, of course, Bottle with a BS headshot on a ladder.
It was something, right? You come through with some plays like that, the gods of RNG just happen to be completely in your favor. Like, you got to be a happy man if that's happening to you. Now, when we look at the score and position, it's disgusting. Seeing it in slow-mo even hurts. It hurts more. It really does. But for ZIGMA getting shut down, losing all their weapons like that, they're on their last penny, last dot. What was Viva doing there?
Who knows?
I don't understand. He had no support on middle. No one was pushing short or anything. This was like passive A, passive B, and Viva's like, I'm gonna run through smokes on mid with an op. That was weird.
I think this is just that they've hit a new level of like cockiness, that they're 9-1 up. Everybody trying to pad their stats as much as possible. Get that HLTV ranking up. Well, to be fair, they've already won the half in a fairly dominant way. As we say, this map is fairly 50-50, so even if they get to 10, it would be a good half. I'd hope they come up with a little bit more of that with how they've been performing. Destroyer is already going to cook one alive. I like that Flying's just hiding. He's waiting for the flash to come in. Destroyer, like, some of the kills he's getting are just an absolute load of rubbish. They're just shooting through the corner. Flying is on the trash can. It's actually Zhao Sage to find the kill. This retake's going relatively well with Bottle chiming in as well. It's left onto Rolex. All he can do is watch as they try and get towards the bomb. It's still a lot of damage done. They're yet to kill him off. He might even have this. It's a clutch once again for ZIGMA. I don't know how they seem to get away with these rounds. That is poor. Very, very poor from Invictus. But hey, this man's going to capitalize on it.
I'm going to find it hard, to be honest, Tom, to really get excited about ZIGMA's position, though. You know, you make this big play. I think Rolex has been a player that hasn't really had a lot to say in this series, so I'm glad that we're seeing him actually be able to have some impact in there. But they're so far behind that they've got to be near flawless to get back into this game. And the start was good, but they're in a little bit of hot water now. Look at the HP. PP Overdose, 1 HP. Rolex, 28. They could be absolutely torn apart at this stage. And quite easily at that. They're going to have to make some big plays. And I actually like the position PB's in. Playing up close over towards the vents. So that if he gets pushed through, at least that will make it easier with his 1 HP to find a kill potentially. At the same time, one random bullet into the leg or something, it's definitely possible to take him down. Good shot by Reality, though. They're back into the lead with a 4 versus 2. That pretty much negates the HP. And Invictus, they should consider saving.
Seems like PP Overdose is going to try and hunt down some of these weapons. On a long rotation. Nice shot from Just Cause. And well, now it's left to Bottle to just try and hold on to his gun. Definitely having a better game. Easy kill to at least take down one of them. No! Oh! He's actually going to get the second as well. I don't know how. That doesn't make sense. And they can't afford to push him anymore. They don't have the money for it. So 9-3. CTs, they can't really buy this one. It should just be some pistols. But yeah, that nice shot at least onto Destroyer to start things off. But yeah, I think they're being bitten by not only some very aggressive plays coming out from ZIGMA, but also just that round where they lost a 1v3. And that was the case on Inferno as well. That was what gave ZIGMA actually a relatively decent half, was that Invictus just seemed to be so disjointed in a lot of these retakes. Flying, trying to be the hero, ends up going down, causes pistol rounds. They're going to take risks. These risks have not paid off this time. Cross being held by Destroyer, but he will whiff. That is a very fast round done 9-4. The climb back continues for ZIGMA. If they get this to 6, it's really not that bad.
Yeah, it's recoverable if they can make it all the way to 6. And really, this next round is going to be the defining factor, whether that is possible or not. You know, Invictus are coming into this one with a decent investment, and for ZIGMA, it's do or die time. Lose this round, and they're very, very likely to lose the map. So if they want to stay alive, this is where they've got to do it. This is where they've got to make their final stand, or I guess their final push. As we look in towards this T side, it is, ooh, not a good start. Reality Jesus lit down massively in towards Palace. Rolex falls straight away, but an apartments trade comes through. Just Cause able to open this one up, and he's looking very good on the drop down, but Xiao Sage was watching him, ready to just take him out as soon as he came onto the site, flying him with another. It's looking a little bit better. Reality Jesus still very low, but he's got the op, and Viva's even pushed off the angle. Gonna play for the retake now.
Well, this one's definitely a close one, and that seems to be where ZIGMA thrive a lot of the time. The early rounds of this one, though, were a lot of clutches going in their opponent's favor. The B site is open for business. Xiao Sage, timing could be everything here. We did see it checked, and that could end up being a bit of a false positive. Now, they've left the bomb on the deck to actually give some time for them to get into some more aggressive afterplant positions. But this could actually bite them in the back, because it's also given time for Xiao Sage to continue his flank through the apartments. Now, it's not going to be as effective, but Reality Jesus, I don't think he's going to be prepared for this. Bench is where he resides, or thereabouts, and Viva's actually already going to kill him off. That one wasn't a surprise at all. Now, Niffy isn't even going to know that he's coming from this angle. It is unlucky. The positioning that they chose was not necessarily bad. The problem is that their opponents came for the perfect angles to counter them.
The ZIGMA tries so hard, but in the end, they lose it all. This is the thing for ZIGMA. At 4 rounds, it's not good enough. The pistol could pretty much swing this over to Invictus. And I know we said we're looking at a clear-cut series. Look at that. Average HP after the end of the round is 43 for the T side. And I think, obviously, with this kind of scoreline, they've usually been dead. It drags down the stats quite a bit. But for Invictus, they've been getting out pretty clean. You're looking at average 2 players alive in terms of HP. You don't know what that's spread over. But the point was, it takes ZIGMA a long time to actually really damage their economy. And coming into this final round, everything that they want is in play. Oh, the nades, the spams. Very good damage to Xiao Sage straight away. He's going to have to rely on catching players off guard now. He can't take any further aim duels on short.
Oh, a chance for a 10-5. We were looking at, what, an 8-0 scoreline? This didn't look possible, so... Especially even at 9-1, where their money got reset back. So they're at least grinding back a little bit. Xiao Sage. Oh, he said he couldn't be aggressive anymore. He disagreed with you, Mitch. He had other ideas. And Bottle's now going to peek into an AWP as well. This round is slipping away from them. The B site firmly under their control. Perfect positions for PP overdose as well. Easy kill on the first. Second not quite going to come his way, as Viva is there with the trade of the AWP. Still, though, a 4v2, and Rolex on the secondary flank leaves flying alone. 1v4, he's been good, but not that good. 10-5 for Invictus. It definitely could have been a lot more, but they made some clinical mistakes that ended up costing them. Well, we'll see if if they lose the pistol, it really isn't that far away for ZIGMA to bring this one back.
I love that different take on the short approach. Like, yeah, so surely they can't afford to take any more, or Xiao Sage can't take any more fights on short. Swings wide. Okay, cool. But either way, it didn't work out. Invictus 10 rounds, as we said, 4 just wasn't enough for ZIGMA. 5 ain't a whole lot better, but at least it means if they lose this pistol, there's a small bit of a chance for the comeback into it. This is going to be very important, though, for Invictus to really hammer home this victory. They want to be getting away with this one, and the smoke already down to only one to allow them to cross over towards this site and get the plant in. They want to force the fight up close. Oh my god! Just Cause was down the very bottom of connector, and he has just been absolutely wrecked. Nifty, he didn't kill him! Oh no! He headshot him through the wall, and that cost him his life in the end as he runs out of ammo. PP overdose 1v2. What an awkward pistol this has been. He's going to look to find these headshots. We know he's capable. Viva took too long to react to where he was, and so it's down to the 1v1. PP knows exactly where his opponent is, but flying's too quick.
They are so lucky that flying is a god. Like seriously, I'd buy this man a beer or something after this game, because there have been so many rounds now where I think Invictus, I'm safe to say, they made the wrong play, like with how they've actually set things up, and he's bailed them out of it. I still remember the gamble stack they had on the B site where he's the solo man versus 4 and he kills 3. In this round, it ends up in a 1v1 in a situation where I think they shouldn't have even come close to that. It just, like, they didn't get the bomb down for ages, or their smokes faded. It was silly. But they managed to get away with it. Now they're up against the 4-spy, and that's the second player now that we've seen try to run short without checking into the connector or without any connector smoke. It is mad. It's mad that this is even allowed. Like, there are so many ways to smoke connector, and from so many different places. The fact that they're trying to just run the gauntlet past it to save a smoke, it's just madness to me. I don't understand.
Well, we've had a deagle push from Rolex to get an opening at least in towards the apartment, so ZIGMA going to be happy to find all these kills in a round that didn't look too likely. Invictus have just left themselves. They've pulled their own pants down and tried to run. In the end, just end up looking like an arse.
Yeah. I do question a lot of the things this team does. Why are you not smoking connector? Like, why? If you're going to push short, smoke it. You can literally smoke it from the position you're on. Like, you just go, oh, just throw it into the back corner. It'll bounce roughly there. Or you can do it properly and line up the smoke that goes over the top and lands beautifully down, bouncing off a load of different things. A wonderful smoke. Instead, they use none. They just run in and die.
So, I'm trying to figure this out. Spinach seems to be their coach, so they do seem to have a coach, although I'm not sure if he's temporary based on what it says in HLTV that he's stood in for. I'm not really sure. Name replacing this person. Yeah, I don't know, but he's listed as our active coach at the moment anyways. I really feel like, I don't know what it comes down to, but a lot of the time in when I look at these Asian teams, I feel like there's a lot of teams that have great potential, not just on 1 or 2 players, but like as a team themselves. And all they need is somebody who really, like, a masterful coach to come in and mold them like clay. You also need to be able to, I suppose, be... So, here's the thing. A good coach alongside an analyst can do a lot for a team, but really it's about what that team is made of. Not just that it's got the right parts, but that it's in the right condition. You think about molding clay, right? That's how I see a team. And obviously you need the coach there to actually physically mold it. You need the analyst in the background to tell him what parts he maybe needs to focus on, reinforce, and so it doesn't fall apart. And then you need the players to be the right material, first of all, and then to be in the right condition. So not just that they've got the skill and all that sort of stuff, but also that they're willing to listen. They're willing to actually change their approaches to games. They've actually gotten a bomb plant here from Invictus. It's not too bad. They just water fell out. But because if you think about it, even if they're the right parts, you got good players, everyone's good at their role, but they're not willing to listen, play together, and improve, and really respect what their coach is telling them and constantly work on applying that to their gameplay. It's like having clay, but not having it wet, right? You're not going to be able to mold that. It's going to be dusty. It's not going to work. You need to have everything lined up to really shape it into a nice, clean team. And I think it's hard to really run into a lineup that's willing to do all that sort of stuff. And I feel like in the Asian region especially, from what we've been seeing, it's based very much around individuals. And a lot of rounds are won or lost by what one player decides to do. And that's not really the ideal form of Counter-Strike.
Not even close, I would say. Oh, they're going for this again. Again, that they've not smoked connector, or at least not well. I assume that was the CT smoke, right? That's the classic one that you can sit over the top of. If that was that smoke, then they've listened, but not very well. Because that was just, it was so much space for him to find kills over the top of it. I'm going to go back to a previous, like, if you don't know how to smoke connector, don't go short. Simple as. Here we go. Re-aggression from Just Cause. Probably dead.
Did you ever play Just Cause 2?
Yeah, I did.
What a game, man. The others never came close.
I then bought... What was the most recent one? Just Cause 4. Like, Just Cause 3 was okay. Yeah. Just Cause 4 was a raging turd that they decided to release into the world. So it was so weird. Like, it was like a completely different game.
Yeah. Dude, I don't think anything ever met Just Cause 2. That was hands. I don't even think it's nostalgia, because I was looking at it recently. I was actually thinking about getting number 4, because I saw some reviews that said it's better than 3. But I will trust your opinion more so. But what surprised me was, like, I watched it back, and even the way the gunplay feels, it's just much better. It's just graphically, it's not up to date.
Well, I always loved the, like, so there, I didn't buy that game for ages, because on Xbox there was a constant 1-hour demo where you could just replay the demo again and again. So I had it. I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna buy this game. I played it for like 20 hours. Why don't I just play the game? Here we go, though. Pistols in, bottle. Those are some nice shots, but there has been a response. They're gonna get a bomb down again. They're getting a lot of bomb plants, but they're not winning a lot of rounds. Not sure I need to say it, but walking backwards through a smoke it's got its risks. Maybe flying can work some magic once again. He's got armor. He's got his Kevlar. Destroyer only has a Tech 9, so I think we are looking at flying to have to be the one to win this. You could almost just use him as bait. That first kill took a lot, but Destroyer's actually got a kill. In reality, Jesus only has the orb. And you might be saying only, but getting 2 kills quickly is not ideal. Destroyer's also managed to find himself an AK, and this round's over. They've managed to make that work. That is a big mistake coming out from ZIGMA, and I think that's what we're watching at this point, Mitch. It's not necessarily who plays better, it's who plays worse.
Yeah, exactly. It's not defined by who's going to win, it's who's going to lose. That's essentially how we're looking at it. By the way,
these were some really nice shots from Bottle, though.
They were gorgeous. You know, in a round like this, it does come down every single time to individuals. You have to pop off with a pistol in order to really pull things back. And Bottle had the entries, and that's the most important part of the game for sure. The round. By the way, with Just Cause 2, the reason I got it was because I used to go to GameStop all the time. Once a week, obviously, we went shopping, myself and my mom, and we'd pop into GameStop, and I'd have a look at the secondhand games, and some absolute legend.
Too. Or Blockbuster.
That didn't it doesn't exist in Ireland. Never did.
Okay. It doesn't exist anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah. Well, I did go there. That's where I got Warhammer, Space Marine, 40,000 or whatever the hell that is. Yeah, that was in the UK. We were on a trip, but
yeah.
Just Cause 2, I got that because I went in and some absolute legend had marked it down to, like, I think it was like €5. So I was like, "Ma'am, can I get this, please?" And I was that annoying kid, and so she got it for me, and best thing ever.
Oh, I like the setup. I like the setup. The bait and switch. That's a really nice round coming out from ZIGMA. Invictus are struggling now. Bear in mind, anybody who's just tuned in, they were winning 8-0, then 9-1. So even after they lost their first round, they managed to break back, then lost the silly 1v3. And here we are. Only 2 rounds the difference now, and oh, this round was really nice from ZIGMA. The setup was perfect. Everybody hit their shots. Can't really ask for much more. We're going back to B. Back to B again. I don't mind it. Worked very well last time. No, they're actually going to go down the underpass. Niffy might be in some trouble here. He is in a horrible angle. He doesn't have any support. Now, this setup, I hate. Because that was really silly. Like, that setup only works if your AWPer has top mid, and then you face bottom mid. If you're facing top mid and there's no one facing bottom mid, you die. That's how that works. So I guess maybe he was waiting for a flash, but once that smoke came down, he should have just given it. How have they won this?
You said you like that setup, yeah?
I like the one in the last round, not in the one we just saw. But even from then, how did they win that?
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, how? It doesn't make sense. I was talking over it because that never should have happened, but flying. It's always flying. Like, how does he do this? He had a P250 and he gets 3 kills.
Yep. As I said before, Tom, you know, this
$100 a kill.
This region,
that is what you call value.
This region has taught me how to breathe because so often I have to go into the woosah. Breathe with me, Twitch chat. Come on. It's all gonna be okay. Deep breaths.
I think that round has lost them the game.
Yep. More than likely, 13-10. They've only got pistols. It's going to be 14-10. Now you've got to come back in a consistent buy rounds. They've got to streak together more rounds than they found so far in this game. It's quite unlikely that they managed to get their 6 in a row. And I don't know what Bottle was doing there.
That?
He's tried to rush them in connector up against pistols. Good lad. I guess this is, as you said, they're just stat padding.
Like, don't. Please. Please. You don't need to push the smoke. Why? Like, it's just stupid. Like,
I want to give commiserations, honestly, Tom. Really, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Both of these teams have coaches, and I cannot imagine a more painful thing than to... Obviously, we're watching this from...
Well, either that or they just don't care. Like, they're just, like, sipping their juice and just, like, having a great time, just winning some money.
I won't insult them like that, but the reality is for those coaches...
They've got little sippy cups.
It's hurting me sitting here watching some of these decisions that are being made. And I think if you're coaching these teams, you're obviously sat there, you can only see it from their perspective. And you've got to, like, after every game, it must be like headbutting a brick wall.
Hey, look, it's that free AK they got in the last round.
It's gone. They've finally gotten rid of it.
No, I mean...
yeah.
The way PB over there just got a kill with it.
I think he would have done that with an M4 either way.
Probably, but I'm bitter. Wait, did they smoke connector? Hallelujah.
No, that was a CT smoke, Tom. That was genuinely a CT smoke.
No, it wasn't. It
was a CT smoke.
Don't do me like that.
Smoke.
Look, where they're pushing into B. They're pushing to B. I'm giving T's credit for smoking connector.
No, they didn't smoke connector. ZIGMA smoked themselves out of connector.
No, they didn't. Please, I can't.
They genuinely did as well. It was a CT smoke. What the fuck's going on?
Flying is like, he's my favorite player. He might be the only player I like. Actually, I quite like Viva as well.
Oh, nasty stuff. All right, save now, boys. ZIGMA gone. No, they're gonna go for it. Got 20 seconds. Come on, 3v3. You're retaking B. You're gonna go for this.
Got kit.
10 seconds to get in there. 10 seconds.
Kill.
10 seconds to find 2 kills. Go and save. Go and save. Go and save. Thank you. What are they doing? What are they doing with 20 seconds thinking they can get back in there?
Viva's banged him. He's having some good games. I'm trying to look at the positives here because I don't want to talk about the rest.
No, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my god, I hate these teams. Tom, I want you to remember something for me, okay? This is online Counter-Strike. There's no way to enforce whether your coach is talking to you all the time or not. So not only is this a case that they're making stupid decisions, but you've literally got someone in the background whose job is to stop you making stupid decisions, and they still make stupid decisions. I'm sat here screaming at them, go and save. No! Viva. Okay, well, look, they're 15-10. They don't care anymore. Like, Invictus are coming through with just sheer confidence, and I just don't care. Fair enough, go for it. But, like, in that 3v3, I'm sat here screaming, go and save. Why is their coach not screaming go save? And they just let them go forward, lose a player, get exited on one more, and then I don't know what PB was doing, jumping around. Like, it's not like he's jumping for joy. There's nothing to be happy about. This is ridiculous, man.
I think he's a scroll wheel jumper. Because I saw him earlier in a clutch that he won. He jumped in the middle of it.
Maybe.
I think that was a scroll wheel jump. But even still, like, it's a risky position to save him for no reason. Reality Jesus. Yeah, good. I feel like flying is the one dealing out the pain every time there's like a decision that is risky. Like, he's just like, no. Oh, okay. Oh, dearie me. Zhao Sage, he's managed to bring this back into a 2 versus 2. This is a round that should not be losable considering what has been purchased, but that doesn't matter when it comes to this match, as it's a 2 versus 2 situation. There's guns on the floor, but they've avoided all of them. There's a man tapping the bomb. He's trying to bait them in, and Flying. Thank you, Flying. 29 kills for him. Easily the MVP of the whole series. Like, Viva had a very good last map, but yeah, that if I had hair to rip out, it would be gone. But luckily, I